Alright, so basically, the Gorosei are idiots because they were like, hey, let's interrupt the fight between two fucking Yonko to sort this out. And then they're like, you know what? Even though Kaido's gonna be on our bad side, we'll deal with it. And my thing about that, how the hell is Kaido gonna be on their bad side? Aren't they supposed to be basically demons? It was like, you can't handle Kaido, but
Well,
you
you have to
think you
think
can
about
handle
it.
Gear 5?
You have to think about it realistically, though, Richard. The reason why they made the warlord system in the first place is because they already knew they couldn't handle the Yonko. So in their mind, you have to think of it like this: Luffy, they don't know what to do with Luffy, but Luffy is not as big of a threat as Kaido, because in their mind at the time, Kaido not only has a whole army of strong people, he has a whole nation under his control through fucking, I'm forgetting his name, but you know what I'm talking about. The fucking ugly ass bitch. That man. Through the basically the current shogun at the time.
Oh, you
Right?
talking about Orochi?
Yeah. I'm saying at the time, Orochi had basically the country under control. He had deals with Kaido, right? So in their mind, Kaido is a big threat. It fucking fucking another Rocky egg. But no, Kaido is a big threat in their mind, because if you look at it, it's not just, oh, Kaido is, a strong guy, but Kaido has more than just himself. Taking down Kaido by himself is gonna be a fucking problem. Regardless of that, and then keep in mind, the fucking people in Wano know how to make weapons with sea stone, with prison stone. So they're not just no regular people. They're skilled swordsmen, skilled people. They're not. It's not just like a regular ass country where most of the citizens do nothing. Half the citizens know how to fight.
Mm.
So realistically, it's a pretty strong country, and it's a pretty strong situation for Kaido. In his case, yeah, the people did not like him, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have an army. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he
I
doesn't have people to fight. Like, imagine if it could have been even been displayed as a situation where it's like, hey, you can have Orochi act as if like the government is just after the fucking Wano and not really after Kaido, and then literally turn that into his personal army without them knowing.
see. This is the thing that gets me. Like, okay, so the girls say, are they're worried and shit about whatever the fuck Kaido got going on, and they're like, okay, we can use him for this and that because he has so many resources. I still don't want to fucking hear them talk about how Kaido is a problem for them when they literally have fucking immortality. It's like,
Well,
I understand their concern, but it's just like, y'all are acting like bitches now, but whenever Luffy was going Gear 5 to Nika, y'all was like, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this now.
you know what? You know what I just thought about? That could be another reason too, though. Think about it like this. Remember what Kaido said? He said that hockey rules all. I'ma just take a hunch, but I feel like the whole immortality, demon abilities all deal with devil fruits. But I have a feeling that hockey, because we already saw with hockey basically negating their fucking ability. So I believe that that might have also been why they were afraid of Kaido, because they know Kaido has strong ass hockey. We know that. So that could be a reason why there too.
Well, here, what if okay, let's say for a second hockey triumphs all whatever. Let's say, what if Emu was like the hockey man, like he had the devil fruit for hockey or some shit, I don't know. Or he was like maybe to some degree of like Shanks, to where he has, the Wi-Fi hockey. That would kind of explain the telekinetic whatever Wi-Fi shit they had going on with the voice of all things. I mean, I'm honestly just kind of stretching that shit out. Like, I don't care if it makes sense or if it's real or not, but I mean, we've already seen Shanks basically, um, like he took down a fucking admiral or whatever he was called, Ryokugyu, with fucking miles away off of just hockey alone. Like basically put him down to his knees. Like that was crazy. Like how the fuck do you explain that shit?
Honestly, I don't know. Because it's hard to really see, like how it even works. But there's a lot of things about hockey that are unexplained, like the future sight. Like that is something that is hard to really explain, in my opinion. Being able to see people and see like things in the future alone through just hockey is something. The voice of all things, in my opinion, could even be in advanced hockey, because I feel like since hockey has to do with future sight, in a sense of where if you have hockey and you have observation, you can get future sight. That can lead me to say, well, hockey could be related to voice of all things, and maybe it's like an undertone of hockey, where maybe if you have like a high aptitude for hockey, like why maybe Motomosuke and Luffy both have the voice of all things, because they both have a higher chance of having good hockey. You know what I mean?
If hockey transcends all, that would make sense. I mean, that would basically explain everything that's going on. That would be like Emu might have some crazy hockey thing where he can, for some reason, he can make the Gorosei become immortal. Plus, he can give them demon abilities.
Well, look at it like this. Maybe it is that, because remember, I mean, people were watching. They had like government agents watching, but how were they so aware of what everything was going on? And then how were they able to do certain things the way they're doing it? I believe hockey is a big part of that, because remember, Devil Fruits was the biggest thing in the beginning of the story. But ever since, Marineford, hockey has been king. Hockey has been basically shown as like a lot of times the difference. And I think that what people do also mistake in situations is that people like, let's say, for example, Frankie, who we know for a fact has no hockey at this moment and has no devil fruit.
It's been confirmed Frankie has hockey.
Where?
With the manga,
what was this?
When he when they all punched Luffy to send St. J flying, or whoever the fuck was there. Whenever remember when Luffy was like, "Everybody punch me." It was basically confirmed, like on paper, that Frankie showed display of hockey. So Frankie has hockey.
But let me, right though. My point is that it's like a thing where people think that, oh, if you don't have hockey or you don't have certain things, then you're weaker. Like people will say like, oh, Robin is strong, but then Nami is automatically weak because she has no hockey. Not necessarily. No, she can be weak and shit, but that doesn't necessarily make her weaker because she doesn't have hockey per se. But at the end of the day, though, if you look at it, more of the stronger people do have hockey, and I feel like that's because, unlike a devil fruit, where you lose something, you don't lose anything from using hockey. Hockey is just the power you already have in yourself. But like a devil fruit is like you're exchanging a part of you, which is the swimming and being able to basically be in contact with water normally, right? To be able to have a type of power or ability. So, in a sense, you could say, yeah, it does transcend. And with the Nika ability, I feel like the difference there is that, like, with Kaido, I think he said in that fight with Luffy, he was like, oh, like, you can't be Joy Boy or something like that. And I think it's probably because he thought, because Luffy had a devil fruit, because everybody that Kaido basically revered as a good pirate were all people that basically didn't have devil fruits, right? Like Roger and Shanks and like Odin. All those people don't have devil fruits, but they have strong hockey. So I think in Kaido's mind, at least, that being strong has nothing to do with a devil fruit. However, at the same time, I feel like with Luffy's case, Joy Boy having a devil fruit could have been a thing. I personally think that if Joy Boy had a devil fruit and it was based off of this sun god Nika ability, right? So we know that Zoans, they can basically take on a personality type, right? Now, I had a theory in my mind, and I don't know if this would be at all true, but we already know that the Zoan, the Nika Nika, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Luffy's
What'd you
fruit
call
is.
him?
Listen.
Oh no, the funny part about that is crazy because I'm more surprised that like more people aren't like not pissed about it, but I know some people kind of caught that, and I was just kind of like, damn, they really just but
You know what?
but from an actual like standpoint, I don't not biblical, it's like more of lore wise, that is how it would actually be said. Like if you look at the history and shit, because Oda has a lot of different things mixed into his story that have to do with like real world topics and stuff. Like Nika is an actual thing.
You know, and I don't know about the specifics of the sun god, but there is a lot of different mythologies that believe in the sun and believe in like rising. Like I think like the god of Ra in Egyptian lore, and I know Mesopotamian and Aztec, you know, history, they probably do worship sun or sun-related deities. And I remember even in the past, they were talking about people in Mesopotamia using like the sun as a sundial clock to measure time. And I thought about it too. I was like, yo, imagine if they connected like time to Luffy, if that makes sense, where you know how like you used, like people used to use the sun to tell time, right, as like a clock. And then like maybe Luffy gets an ability where he can literally stop time with like, you know, himself.
I mean, honestly, at this point, according to his shit that he has going on, he could technically do whatever the fuck he wants at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Monkey!
people were technically saying like he could more or less break through manga pages and shit, so I wouldn't be surprised. Make.
But look, listen, I'm gonna just say like this though, like realistically, like I feel like if you were to say about anything about who is the strongest character at this rate, Luffy is gonna have to be in the top 10, in my opinion.
I mean,
I can understand that they don't want to say him as number 1 yet, because obviously he's not even king of the pirates yet, and there's obviously some really strong characters still. Like, I would say if you put Shanks over Luffy, that's valid, in my opinion, because outside of the Nika ability, Shanks would probably whoop Luffy's ass at the current moment. He needs more hockey, because right now, Shanks can depower a power user. So, like, let's say he does the same thing to Luffy in this case, and he was fighting Luffy, for real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he would do that to Luffy per se, but if he could do it to an Admiral, I feel like he could do it to Luffy at least. I don't think it's like limited.
I think Oda's doing some next level foreshadowing because you remember how um, all it took was that little
Excuse me.
what's it called, the knot, the small tinge of Joy Boy's hockey was able to basically despawn the Gorosei from the lobby. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say that that is a precursor to like that. That's honestly, I mean, the Giants kind of confirmed it too. They said, "Hey, this feels like Shanks's hockey, but more like, I guess, not refined, but more friendly or something."
Like a taste of what Luffy's hockey would be like.
I think is foreshadowing the hockey that might be needed to combat Emu.
Honestly, I think, okay, because remember, here's the whole thing. I don't know if it was specifically Emu, but let's just assume it's Emu. Emu and Joy Boy fought in the past, and Joy Boy lost. Okay, so this is where I think Oda's getting at. Luffy has to be stronger than Joy Boy to win, because it's clear that if Luffy were to win, he needs to be stronger than Joy Boy. Because if Joy Boy won, this whole story wouldn't happen the way it's happening. That's the whole point. So that's just a taste of what Luffy needs to do. Like, to be fair, the depowering is good, but outside of depowering, that was a little sample of it, right? It might need to be like, we don't even know if the fact that it was in the knot, it was like if it was decaying or like if the hockey was staying strong. To be fair, I don't know if it would be decaying because
Nah,
I mean it's
that
been
that shit was
hundreds
ripe.
of years.
That shit was ripe. That shit was like that shit was sitting for like a minute. That shit was like fine wine or something. That dude pulled the cork. That shit just fucking went all the way back. Like Emu felt that shit like head on. Like that's the only reason he killed Saturn is because of Joy Boy.
Yeah, damn. That's kind of crazy though, honestly, that he even killed him.
I was kind of surprised. I was like, what? Like so he had Saint J for this long, and then this is assuming that Jay was with Emu the entire time from even the start. It's like, well maybe Jay was there, and they all kind of fought Joy Boy together or something like that. But maybe I don't know. Maybe Jay wasn't there.
Richard, I saw a theory. I know you might like this theory. This was the idea that the reason why Joy Boy lost is because of the Gorosei. Because there's a theory that some of the members or all the members of the Gorosei were a part of Joy Boy's original pirate crew and betrayed him.
Damn, you think the elders were part of Joy Boy's crew?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. You know,
Oh no,
but
that shit would be wild. Do you
I can
understand like how the implications of that would be the amount of betrayal that would need to happen.
it wouldn't be surprising though, considering one, Joy Boy was the first pirate, so it wasn't like, you know, they were like pirates and they like if like we're assuming that's true, it wouldn't have been like, oh, there were plenty of pirates. You know, if they were the first pirates, it wouldn't be against it to be like, hey, they maybe didn't want to be like a rebel to like a government. Maybe they're like, hey, we're strong, we'll help you out. Or maybe they betrayed immortality for friendship. I mean, some people would do that.
Yeah, what if it was like a Davy back fight type shit? Like that's what started it all, because people have been talking about that too. Like they think a Davy back fight has something to do with like not necessarily Emu, but other things that happened.
Imagine Oda making the one thing people hate in One Piece for sure, like the thing people need to like respect.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, people hated on Gear 5, and I love the show out of Gear 5, but some people, well, I think it wasn't Q who said it. It was somebody else who said it.
What?
that they didn't like Gear 5 because it was like too silly or something?
That
Yeah,
sounds like
definitely
me.
wasn't me. That definitely was not me, because I was like, Gear 5 was the craziest thing to happen. Gear 5 is when I started watching One Piece.
I'm
It,
happy that Gear 5 is the reason people started watching One Piece because Gear 5 is fucking goated. I'm
my
Yeah,
still
Gear
thing,
5.
I'm still upset y'all
Go
weren't
ahead.
online for me to react when Gear 5 dropped.
my thing is, and this is what a lot of people they were saying, and I don't know issue with people watching stuff now, but I feel like it's funny how there's so many people who like for example, I saw like okay, so Oda's taking a 6 month break, or like I think the no, is it the animator? There's
I
somebody
think
taking
it's
a 6 month
Netflix.
break.
I think it's Netflix. They're gonna work on not Water 7. They're working on Fishman Island and when the Straw Hats come back and the animation is gonna be crazy.
But the whole thing is that they're taking a break, and keep in mind this is a series that comes out basically every week. Like they don't take more than like a month break usually. Some series take years breaks, and then these people are talking about there's some people that I started watching from Gear 5, but now I need to stop because now they're stopping out put out stuff. I'm like, you
Nah,
gotta be
that'll give
fucking
them enough
ridiculous.
time to
Watching from Gear 5?
No, like so, like okay, I saw a bunch of people were apparently commenting, and they were saying stuff like, "Oh, um, now it's gonna be trash because now they're not putting it out." Oh, like basically because they said that they're going on a break, they're thinking it's gonna be fucking dead now, so they're giving up on it because now they stopped making all these good episodes. Now they're just gonna go on a break, as if other anime never go on breaks themselves.
as if we literally don't have chapters of One Piece currently coming out
There's
right now.
people that are dedicated fans of Hunter, and that shit be going on years breaks.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter went fucking just out of it, actually.
Mm,
But that's my point. I'm not even saying like if you don't want to wait. I mean, I understand you don't want to wait, but it's not like they said, "Hey, we're gonna go a whole year." And honestly, some of those people they're talking about they start watching from Gear 5. Well, you got a lot to catch up on anyway, bitch. It's gonna take you a few months.
yeah, I was about to say, imagine starting from Gear 5 and then complaining that they go on break. It's like, bro, you didn't even start from the beginning.
And that's my problem with people. Like they want to complain and complain and complain. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. Nobody is holding your hand and saying to watch
It's
it.
like y'all skip the line. Go back to the back of the line like everybody else did. Watching this for years, you don't complain long enough that One Piece is long as shit. Now it ain't here no more. I bet you want that shit to last longer, ain't it?
There's like these two guys on YouTube, and they're apparently calling themselves One Piece haters. And then they saw like bits of Gear 5, and then some like I think the first they watched Sanji, right, in like Wano when it was like Sanji versus Queen. Then they watched Zoro versus King, and then they started watching Gear 5, and they're like, you know what, we got spoiled with that, and we decided we're gonna start watching it. And then ever since they started watching it, they basically they went from One Piece haters to
Oh
One Piece
yeah,
lovers.
I saw the little compilation. That there was like, yo, this shit is trash and blah blah blah, and then they started watching Gear 5. I was like, hold up, and then they started from the beginning, and they just like, they fucking love the bullshit. Like they can't believe that they ever hated One Piece in the first place. And that's the thing that gets me about One Piece haters. I'm just like, don't like. I can understand if you don't like it because it's just not your type, but don't fucking hate it just because it's like you didn't even give it a watch.
You know what's funny is I think a lot of One Piece haters are actually Dragon Ball fans. Dragon Ball and Naruto fans. But I think predominantly Dragon Ball fans, which is so ironic, right? Because I used to be one. But looking at it, I was talking to Alicia about it, and Dragon Ball fans get the same hate. Not exact same, and probably not nearly as much. But if you have somebody in your life or anything who does not know anything about Dragon Ball, and you show them a few clips I guarantee you, they're gonna be like, so is that it? Just grown men yelling and their hair changes color. And that is like the go-to description for anybody who has never seen the show. Or just clips of the fight, or clips of like gameplay for one of their games. And it's like, well, no, there's a lot more to it. But predominantly that's what the combat is like, I guess, yes.
I mean, honestly, it's like any other thing. Like, if you take a glance at it, like, I remember when I was first watching Dragon Ball, and I only glanced at it when I was like a kid, and I was just like, I saw Frieza, I didn't know who he was, but I just saw, who the fuck is that? And I just thought Dragon Ball was all about that, or him just being there for some reason, or when I first saw One Piece as a kid, I didn't understand it. I saw Luffy running around and stretching, and I was like, what is that about? It's just like some guy running around and he has stretchy arms. Just like, what? And then nobody ever talked about One Piece where I was at, so it was just like in the back of my mind. Sometimes I just be like, yo, what's that show with the stretchy guy? And
You're better than me.
I just never.
I told Alicia this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I am glad that I looked at Burning Blood, and I was just like, how the fuck do all these characters fit into the damn one story? Because I would have never thought that One Piece was that long, or any anime or any show that I would watch would be that long, or that I would ever watch a show that is that long. And then, like, think about the fact that somehow all these characters are here and they just make sense being there.
Yeah, you're better than I was, because like I told Alicia, see here, still here, or did...
Yeah, Rich had two of him.
Okay. Yeah, like I told Alicia, so my first exposure to One Piece, aside from there's a game my mom bought me for the PS2 a long time ago called Treasure Cruise. It was called One Piece like Treasures Cruise or Pirates Cruise or some shit like that. And it was just a compilation of like mini games.
You talking about
featuring
the
One Piece characters?
Talking about the one where you do the taps on the phone?
I don't know about that one. There was like one where you have to go down a mountain and bow to like this panda, because if you didn't, he smacked the shit out of you, and it was a race.
The hell?
There was one where you have to escape from a bank heist, and Smoker was chasing you.
Interesting.
So, but it's on PS2. Like if you look it up, it's One Piece Treasure Cruise or some shit like that, and it's a PS2 game. That was my first exposure. But my first exposure to the anime was, I was a kid watching Cartoon Network. I remember this. I was watching Cartoon Network and fell asleep, woke up, right, I was on Toonami. And all I saw were these men sitting in a room wearing suits or some shit, and like Luffy crashes through the like wall. And I told Alicia at the time, I had no idea what the hell I was looking at. But now I feel like it was Water 7 that I was looking at.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they were all wearing masks and shit now, right?
I don't remember the mask. I don't remember none of that. I remember the one CP9 member with the like white panda looking face with the long white hair.
Oh, I know.
I remember him, and like a really fat guy.
Yeah, the zipper on his mouth. Yeah, who's said that?
So that's Carlos.
Oh shit! Damn, Carlos. I need to turn you up.
Anyway, before the nigga that nobody asked started talking.
Okay, I'm leaving. My feelings are now hurt.
Oh
You see how
no!
niggas come in here and start doing shit, and then when they get the energy back, they're the victim.
Damn,
But yeah.
I really sound like that.
What's up, Carlos?
What's up?